Alright, so I want to talk about Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde. This game came out May 25th, 2022. I want to thank the devs and publishers Creature Cauldron for the review copy. However, all thoughts will be my own. I want to pretty much answer, what is this game? How do you play it, etc.? Is it worth your time and money? Well, first of all, it launched in early access, single player only, Steam achievements, Steam Cloud, and surprisingly, no, control support. This game kind of needs it, but however, it can be implemented soon. This game is an action roguelike. It's kind of very super crazy similar to Vampire Survivors, where you pick a character, you pick a stage, you idly walk around while abilities automatically go off. There's a lot more to it, but that's basically how Vampire Survivors works, and this is how Spirit Hunters works. Is it a one-to-one copy? Absolutely not. Now, Vampire Hunters isn't the first game to do the sort of idler game where you just, either use your WASD on your keyboard to move around or your mouse to click and move around while a lot of stuff happens on the screen. I'm not saying it's the first game to do that. However, it is one of the most successful early access small games on Steam right now. I think it sells for $2.99. It is extremely overwhelmingly positive, and I have to agree. I am so addicted to that game. I love Vampire Survivors. Now, what does Spirit Hunters bring to the table? What does it do to make you want to try it out over Vampire Hunters? Well, first of all, it's cheap. It is $4.99, and I think even though it's like $2 more than Vampire Hunters, at the stage that Spirit Hunters is out, even though it is early access, I think it has a lot of improvements over it. Not saying I'm never going to go back to Vampire Hunters. I do want to play that again, maybe once it's fully out in version 1.0, because my god, I've played that game to death. Every time they have a new Steam update, I do the achievements, I 100% it, wait again, a couple weeks, and then do it again. I just want to drop it now and wait till it's done. Spirit Hunters is going to fill that itch for me, and there's a lot of reasons why. It just has a lot of replayability. So what are the big things that are different from the game? Well, the graphics are definitely a step up, and that's definitely objective, right? It's very, the way you perceive it. I really do like the sprite-based graphics. I remind you of like the NES version, NES games. This is more like indie, more cartoony, more refined. However, I will give Vampire Hunters, the music on there is so good. It has like that chiptune, Castlevania gothic sound. This one, it depends on the stage you're on, but it's very like forgettable. But what it makes up in the gameplay. In this one, you start with a couple characters, and you're going to be unlocking a lot more stuff as you go on. You're going to be picking from 1 to 2 characters with their special abilities. I'll give you an example of the first 2 starting characters. One of them is primarily a healer. The other one is more of a magnetic character to grab stuff off the ground. Now, this is where things change up a little bit. You get to start with any skill that you want with the character. However, there's a specific synergy with the healing character. If you start with like skill 1, every time you launch the attack, let's say there's like a 10% chance to heal off of it. Maybe if you start with another ability, when you kill an enemy, you have a chance to heal on it. Then you play with the magnetic character. If you play with a certain skill, it increases the AoE of the skill. If you use another one, it increases how many times it can, how fast it works. So there's a lot of starting synergies there, which is really cool. The stages themselves look great, and the enemies are interesting. It's your basic like horde type enemy. So they're just gonna be running in. Usually no really projectiles. I know Vampire Survivors added some projectiles to it, but this one so far hasn't seen any. You're gonna be running around, opening chests on the ground via like oh you motherfucker, they do this thing where you walk up to a random treasure chest and you have to stay in the circle for it to unlock. It takes like a couple of seconds, and you get like money and you get meta currency. You get like gems and little runes and stuff like that. So there's chests, there's boxes on the ground to get HP, there's rocks to get even more runes and stuff, and then bosses randomly come on by. I really love the progress bar on the bottom. It's not like a flat 30-minute survival. It's, at least for this specific episode here, on this first one here, it's like 15 minutes, and it shows you there's going to be a boss, on like 5 minutes in, a boss at 8 minutes in, 12 minutes, and then 15 minutes, there's a big boss at the end. But it's really cool because each time a boss comes up, it's a different one themed to that level. So if you're in the desert level, it's like, oh, maybe the first one is a gigantic fly, or the other one's a giant sandcastle. But then it switches it up next time. And the bosses do have some pretty fun, unique AIs. They charge you, they explode on impact, they summon minions. And what really surprised me is at the end of the 15 minutes, you're actually fighting a boss. So you're not just trying to survive. You actually have to build towards fighting hordes of enemies and then build towards fighting a boss, because you are on a time limit fighting that guy. There's a HP bar, and it's a slowly enclosing circle. So that's how you defeat each stage. Each stage is like 15 minutes, and you can unlock a harder mode, and then you unlock different types of stages and hard modes on those, and they just give you more and more meta stuff. Vampire Survivors, what's different is you're going to be getting 4 weapons this time instead of like, you know, what was it, like 8 main weapons and the 8 sub weapons. In this one, it's like 4 weapons. However, each one of those weapons is very, very impactful. Every time you grab one, you're stuck with it for the run, but every time you level up, you have a chance to do different types of upgrades for it. For example, a fireball that circles around you passively. That's the thing. Every time you upgrade it, you can increase its damage, you can increase how fast it moves around your character, you can increase how far it is from your character, and same thing with a lot of the other weapons. Not everything is like straight damage based though. Some of it really depends. Like if one thing shoots a projectile, it could be the next upgrade could be multiple projectiles, and you have a choice of doing that. So it's really cool that way. Besides the sub weapons, you also have pets in this game. You're going to be unlocking pets maybe like after your first or second run in the game, but the pets are basically the sub weapons in this game, where you have to find them and then they follow you around, and then they just give you passive buffs, like, you know, more damage, movement speed, makes it faster to open up the treasure chest and stuff like that. So that's it. You get 5 pets, which are your passives, and you can upgrade those passives too, and then the weapons. And that's pretty much the game. It's addicting because just of the synergies. I think what kind of is not that great about Vampire Survivors in terms of its synergies is you know, once you pick the whip, for example, you always have to get the hollow heart, otherwise you are wasting huge amounts of potential. Here you can mix and match as much as you want. There's no like de facto 100% synergy with this and that. You can have your favorites, but it's not like, you know, this is always going to be better if you choose this over that. Talk about the meta progression. There's a lot here. It has like a sort of PoE like grid-based screen there. It looks a little daunting at first, but it's very easy to follow. Basically, you're going to be unlocking all of your skills and all of your characters from here with a lot of requirements and criteria. For example, you must kill a certain amount of bosses or a certain amount of enemies before you can unlock this next skill, and then with the other sorts of nodes around it, you can upgrade those skills. So if you have a favorites, you can upgrade the fire skill for more damage, like starting damage, etc. So there's a ton here. I'm playing the game for many hours right now, and there's still a lot to do. There is a lot to do. It's just as addicting, though. Like I said, it might seem limiting because you're only using 4 basic weapons and 5 pets. You have a lot of upgrades and a lot of synergies and a lot of upgrade choices within the game for it. Besides that, there's also shops in the game as well, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty much the game. It's an idle walker. However, this one feels kind of smart. It's not without its problems though. Like I said, I think at the beginning, the music is not that amazing. It's just I'm really a fan of the chiptune Super Nintendo-ish music. This one's like, you know, just basic, a little forgettable. The graphics are great. I did have a problem with the movement at the beginning. This is a bullet hell. It's really important that the movement is just precise because you're going to be doing a ton of dodging. What I like about Vampire Survivors is that you can move and then stop on a dime. In this game, once you move and stop, you somewhat have a little bit of forward velocity before you stop. It's a little jarring if you played so many hours of Vampire Survivors, but you get used to it. It wasn't that bad. I tried playing with both a mouse and a keyboard. Both were pretty good. I really want them to add a controller support so I can play with that, because this is a game you're going to be sitting there for many hours, just one more run. So you want to have the nice laid-back experience with the controller. I just want that. So please come out with that soon. Like I said, anything that is coming out, anything that's not here yet, anything that can be fixed might be, because this is early access. Not sure when it's going to fully come out, but it seems like they're doing some updates. Looks like the last one was May 7th, and before that was April 13th. So it looks like maybe one or so a month. So super accessible, magical, vampire survivor inspired. So yeah, they admitted it's just like Vampire Survivors, but I think they are standing out on their own. Like, there's a lot here that's just different, and you know, dare I say, this might be better. At least personally for me, I think I'm gonna have more fun with this, at least from what I'm seeing Vampire Survivor, where it's evolving. This could be really good. Lots of abilities, lots to unlock, synergies with hunters and different abilities. So it does have that. It really wants you to make you try it over and over again, even if you played with your favorite character. There's like freaking how many skills? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. There's like 16 skills, so you can have one character and then play 16 times for each different types of, you know, starting skill, and then your 3 other weapons, and then a bunch of pets. It's a ton of stuff. I think it's way better than Vampire Survivors, at least right now in terms of replayability and synergy. Because like I said, Vampire Survivors, it's like, okay, I'm going to pick the lightning ring. That means I have to get Duplicator to get the most DPS out of that. You know, it is what it is. So this one feels more complete, and I highly recommend Spirit Hunters, especially at this price. This is a good price for this game. $5, it's perfect. $5 is perfect. Maybe when it comes out version 1.0, they could up it to like $7, but I think it's really, really good right now. So check it out. That's all I have to say. If you guys enjoy, leave a like. It helps a lot. If you haven't already subscribed for daily videos. If you're interested, all the footage you're seeing came straight from the Twitch. I'm actually live streaming this review right now, so please come on by. And if you want to see the full episode and more, link in the description to my Let's Play channel, MabiVsGamesVOD. I'll be uploading all of that plus more, because I'm planning on playing a lot more of this. It's a fun game, so let me know what you guys think. I swallowed the wrong hole. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.